완성이 되어도 뚫고도 남을 병력이에요 지금.
이현전에 안 맞아가 페이크 이제 돌아가요.
이거 위기예요, 마지막 선수. 이윤열 선수 선역 성공하나요?
네, 이건 선역 성공 분위기네요 지금.
도대체 몇 번을 보는 겁니까 이윤열?
야,
근데 일단 성크는 또 완성시키나요 일단.
이야, 성공 깨졌고 빠베.
야,
안 나오는데.
정말
이윤열 선수 진화에서 나타났어요.
정체 제재. 독주는 못 봐준다 이거예요. 독주는 반지는 내 거다 이거예요.
결국 마재훈 선수의 적수로 호적수로 나타났습니다.
이윤열.
마재훈이 선택한 신맥두대간에서 신신한 맥두대간에서 신한의 최강자로 우뚝 서는 이윤열입니다.
자, 마지막을 잡기 위해서는.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Deja Vu here, welcoming you to the finals of the E-Star Soul StarCraft Heritage League. And what you just saw was the finals from the last time these two players, Savior and Nada, met in a final match. That was in 2007 in the Shinhan Masters League in which Nada took Savior down 3-1 in the final game, winning in less than 10 minutes with a Marine Firebat medic sunken bust and absolutely destroying Savior in that final game. And not only did Nada win that game, he even went on to say in an interview that Ma Jae-yoon was no longer a feared entity, a true slap in the face to Savior's ego and pride. But that wasn't just mere words from Nada. Nada, in 2008, following those bold words, went on to take Savior down in 3 out of 4 games, proving that the winningest player in StarCraft history was not making just another statement. But now, Savior's back, here to play Nada again in the finals, possibly to get some revenge. Here we go, we're going to be starting. This first game is on Python, and our start positions are going to be Savior in blue at the 3 o'clock position, and Nada in orange at the 6 o'clock position. And we'll see whether or not Savior can finally get some revenge after Nada absolutely destroyed him last year and the year before. Savior has proclaimed that he will destroy everyone in 2009, and what better way to kick it off than to take down the man who said that he was no longer a feared entity in Nada. This would be absolutely incredible for Savior to take this series. This is a best of 3 series, starting here on Python, then moving on to Destination and Neo Medusa. Savior gonna get lucky here with his Overlord, gonna go scout out towards Nada's base first with that Overlord, and that's definitely a big advantage for Nada for scouting information. However, this is Python, which is a highly Terran favored map, something like 60% versus Zerg. So we'll see what Savior has in store. Hopefully he can come up with something great here and actually make this into an entertaining game. After we've seen so many games on Python between Terran and Zerg players just be really just roll fest for the Terrans, just destroying Zerg players time and time again. Hopefully this one will turn out to be at least a little bit different, and Nada not going for a wall in here to start, throwing down a supply depot near his mineral lines, not going to wall off, at least at the beginning here. I'm just going to play standard here, building a barracks inside of his own base, and we'll see what Savior decides to do, whether he goes for a 12 hatchery or a 12 pool. I suspect that this will be a 12 hatch build, since this is a 4-person map. It's going to be hard for Nada to certainly scout it out. And yes, we are going to see the 12 hatch as well as a drone scout going out. So Savior being very concerned here, going to make sure he sees everything. And that is Tasteless and Artosis here. We're getting a first-person view of both of these great guys for the StarCraft community, for the English community, and the foreigner scene in general. They do so much excellent work for all of us, and I'm sure everyone who's watching this knows who they are and appreciates the work they do. And here we see Nada actually getting a scout off on Savior early here, a rather early scout from Nada, and gonna get it right off the bat. And that is another good, well, kind of a lucky play by Nada, but certainly is going to help him out here as he sees the 12 hatch and the pool going up. And we'll see whether Nada should be prepared, and if Savior should go for any sort of a lane build and try and hit Nada out early. And actually, Nada's going to counter by throwing up 1 Rax right into Command Center, going to get his Command Center up nice and early. So he's going to be going for a heavy econ build here, seeing the 12 hatch, and knowing that he should be able to get enough Marines out to counter any sort of a rush from Nada, or from Savior. So Nada going to go for an economic build here. And that's really going to put the pressure on Savior. Savior's going to have to do something in order to stop Nada from getting too much of an economic lead, whether that means taking a third base, although third base on Python is going to be hard for a Zerg player to hold. There really aren't any easily defendable third bases for the Zerg player to go to, or try and get some good economic harassment, which is really what Savior's probably going to have to go for here. So Nada throwing down a second barracks as well. Going to get some more Marines out. Going to be able to, certainly no matter what Savior throws out early here with that later pool, it's not going to be enough in order to counter 2 racks worth of Marines. So Nada should be pretty okay here. And we see Savior actually struggling to take down this SCV for Nada. Nada doing a pretty good job of keeping it alive, but it's almost down now. And actually I think he's just going to run away. No, he's not going to run away. Not even going to go to the expansion to make sure there isn't any other tech going to go down there. Just going to keep exploring here. We see the third hatchery going down for Savior as well. And we'll see what he decides to do with his first 100 gas. He might have already morphed his expansion hatchery into a layer even. But we'll see whether or not he goes for a layer or if he did go for Zergling speed. I suspect that it was layer. It is far more popular for players these days to be going for the layer with the first 100 gas than to go for Zergling speed. However, it is certainly a viable option to go for the speed. You do see it every now and then. And yeah, another SCV scout going out for Nada, going to try and see what the Maestro is doing, what Ma Jae-yoon is doing. And it looks like Ma Jae-yoon is just building a lot of Zerglings right now. He might be going for a little bit of a rush. You're going to try and maybe do some damage moving across the middle of the map, but not really moving towards Nada's base at all. Not really sure what his strategy is here. If he was worried about some sort of proxy build or something else, he may have been searching around for that. But Nada's not doing anything like that. Nada is playing pretty defensively here. Going to play for the economic lead and going to play towards the more for a mid-game strategy, for a mid-game push. And there's the layer going up and the Hydro's den. So this is going to be for lurkers. We're going to see a lurker build out of Savior to begin here. And it looks like Nada might be able to get a scout on. There is a drone scout. There is a drone on that ramp to try and stop Nada. We'll see whether or not Nada's able to work his way up that ramp. We see a lot of Zerglings for Ma Jae-yoon coming out, but there are a lot of Marines on that ramp, as well as a Firebat in the back. Even if they were to work through their way through the Marines, that Firebat in the back with the medic is certainly going to be enough, and there's no way that Ma Jae-yoon was going to get up that ramp. And Nada able to work that SCV up the ramp, might have even killed a drone. Yes, I believe he did kill a drone, so he gets a drone kill, and he's going to get a full scout on. This is a huge advantage for Nada. Going to see that the lurkers are coming, going to be able to prepare accordingly, and he might even okay. Finally, that SCV goes down. He's even trying to give another smack in the face to Savior, stealing some minerals here, and Savior trying to harass these Marines, medic, and Firebat that are working towards his base, and they do have stim upgraded, and this could be bad for Ma Jae-yoon. The Marines are in range of this hatchery and might even be able to get some drone kills here. Actually, Ma Jae-yoon doing a pretty good job of pulling his drones off the line and not going to only lost one there. However, his hatchery is at risk, and now Ma Jae-yoon coming in with a lot of Zerglings from a couple different angles might actually be able to clean this up, but this is going to be very, very close, and not very good micro out of Savior. Not good micro at all out of Savior. However, he had enough Zerglings that it looks like he will be able to clean this up. Just a couple of Firebats left, and this is dangerous for Savior. However, we'll see whether or not he has the micro to do it. Sometimes Zerg players with very good micro can take down Firebats and protect their Zerglings from too much splash damage, but these two Firebats able to do a lot of damage still, taking down a couple more Zerglings as they were spawning. And this is a bad news for Savior here at the beginning stages. It looks like he's going to move towards Nada's base, but I don't think that's going to be very successful at all. Not only that, but he's also lost mining capability